Hello, hi everyone. Welcome to Vignan Technologies. Introduction to IDOCs. So now let us understand what the IDOCs are. So IDOC stands for Intermediate Document. It is used to transfer the data between two SAP systems or SAP and non-SAP systems. If the data is transferred between SAP systems, then LA is used. If it is transferred from SAP to non-SAP systems, a technology called EDA is used. So EDA stands for Electronic Data Interchange. So there are two type of IDOCs depending on transfer type. So if IDOC is sent out of the SAP system, then it is called as an outbound IDOC. So if it is received at SAP ECC system or SAP system, it is called as an inbound IDOC. So IDOC will have many segments available. This is pretty much similar to XML JSON files in non-SAP world. So SAP world, we call IDOCs as a nested structures. So these segments can be referred as a parent segment and child segment. So child segment is part of your parent segment. So every segment will consist of multiple fields. IDOC has got three parts: control record, data record, and the status record. So what is a control record? Let's understand this. So control record stores the information such as IDOC number, basic type, message type, when the IDOC has been created, and who is the sender, and the partner profile number, partner type, port number. So all the information will be captured over here. And it will have the status information and it will have the direction also, meaning whether it is an inbound IDOC or an outbound IDOC. So all the information related to the control records can be captured in a table called EDIDC. So this is a standard table, so which captures the information related to all the control records. So if you look at here, I had given the sample screenshot of the EDIDC table. So this has got the IDOC number, IDOC type, the direction, and the partner number, port number, and partner number, and address information, and additional information such as message type, message information, all that. So this would be part of your control record. So remember, irrespective of how many number of segments are present, every IDOC will have one control record information, which is common to all the segments. Now the next one is data record. So data record is the crucial element which captures the actual data that has to be transferred from one system to another system. So this will capture actual data information, and the information that is stored in this particular data record can be found from the table called EDA D4. So this can have n number of segments depending upon the amount of data that is being transferred from one system to another system. So if you look at the example that I had given, so there's a data record which has got a E1 MARAM segment. Underneath we have E1 MAKTM segments. We have four E1 MAKTM segments and one MARC segment. So it means that this particular data records are carrying the material master information. So this has got one material information along with the four descriptions and the plant information. So this will tell you what type of data is being transferred and what the data is being transferred. As I said, all the information related to this one will be captured in the EDI D4 table. So if you look at the EDI D4 table, so it will have the IDOC number and the segment wise information here. So if you have multiple segments, so it will capture the data at a segment level for each and every field. So the next one is the status record. Because status record tells us what is the status of IDOC. So be it an inbound IDOC or an outbound IDOC. And the status record information is captured in a table called EDIDS. This is again a built-in table. And these statuses of an IDOC ranges from 1 to 50 for all the outbound IDOCs and 51 to 75 for all the inbound IDOC. So if you look at the table here, you can find out the IDOC information and the status information here clearly. So based on this, you can understand the status of IDOCs. So if you want to get the status for multiple IDOCs, you can just enter the IDAC numbers into this table and you can get the status of all the IDACs at one shot. Now there are some message types which are quite frequently used. Okay, so MATMAS stands for Material Master. This is a message type for handling all the Material Master information. So underneath there are basic types such as MATMAS01, MATMAS02, likewise. And DebMOS is for customer. So if at all you are dealing with the customer master information, the message type to be used is a DebMOS. So for vendor, we should be using CREMAS as a message type. And some of the transaction codes which are used to create these objects. So if you want to create a material, you just use a transaction code called MM01. To edit the material, use transaction code called MM02. Display the material, use a transaction code called MM03. And create the customer, we use transaction code called X301. Edit the customer, we use X302 and display the customer X303. And for creation of the vendor, we use XK01. For editing the vendor, we use XK02 and displaying the vendor, we use XK03. So these are the some of the transaction codes used with respect to customer master, material and vendor. Now look at some of the other transaction codes which are quite useful for a data services resource. So W02 or W045 is the one which is most frequently used transaction code to check the IDOCs. So you want to check the IDOCs, you want to check the data records, you want to check the status of an IDOCs. So we would be using W02 or W05. W19 which is used to retrigger an IDOC. So you have an IDOC and IDOC number. You want to retrigger an IDOC to the external system. So we use W19. SM58 is to check the IDOCs at SAP ECC side or SAP system side. SALE or BD54 is used to create the logical system. BD87 is to check the IDOC error information and you can reprocess the IDOC there itself by correcting the data. So the fundamental difference between W19 and BD87 is that W19 can retrigger an IDOC and you can edit the control record information. So in the BD87 you can change the data elements and retrigger the IDOC information. And to create the RFC connection, we use SM59 as a transaction code. W20 is used to create the partner profile. W21 is used to create the ports such as file ports, TRFC ports. So thanks for watching the video. Please continue to watch the rest of the videos.